This landlord put this building on the market for $2.5 million, which is a lot of money. And this area is, I mean, all of DC and all of Northwest, there's a lot of gentrification. This area, we're right near Howard, we're near U Street, like there's a lot of development, and so the price is really high. And the way that TOPA works, so if there's another developer or another buyer that's made an offer, and that's what happened with this building, another just developer made an offer on the building, so they offered $2.5 million. So then the tenants or whoever has the TOPA rights has to match that price. So using TOPA doesn't get you like a discount, or it doesn't mean that you can set the price or that it will be a price that's feasible for the tenants. It's still protecting the landlord's ability to sell their property and make money.
My role has kind of shaped up to be working on trying to get the financing, so like the loans that we're going to use to buy the building and renovate the building. And then because it's very related to that, also helping another organizer, Mandy, out with the development, so figuring out what are we going to do with the physical building. Like how are we going to renovate it? What's the vision of what the space will actually be physically? So those have been the main things. Some fundraising, some working with the current tenants of the building, but yeah. So DC has this law, the Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act, and it means that anytime a landlord is selling a building that has more than one unit. So if it's a single family home, they change the law where it no longer applies, which is too bad. But anything more than a single family, they have to go through this notification process to the tenants, and the tenants have the right to, they get to exercise a right to purchase the building if they want to. Which, as I can talk about more, there's still a lot of steps to actually make that happen. You're still buying a market rate building. You still have to get all this money. The main type of tenant-owned co-op in DC and that we're thinking that we're going to do with this building is a limited equity cooperative. So it's an intentionally, so if you think of, you can just have a market rate cooperative, which we do have also in DC, where people own a share in the building and that's how they have their apartment. And then when they want to move, they sell their share and it just gets sold at market rate. They just put it on the market. So a limited equity cooperative means that the cooperative actually has a cap on how much the price can go up. So say you buy a share now, then in 10 years, instead of going up with the market, which would mean it would probably cost, many times more than what it costs right now, it's only allowed to go up a little bit. If you have a co-op, like a limited equity co-op, there's still going to be expenses. Like you still might have to fix the plumbing or fix the roof, or you have maintenance, you have cleaning, whatever you have. But then there's nobody making money on top of that. So you're just sharing the cost of what does it actually cost to have this space and maintain it. And there's not somebody who's just profiting off of you living there. How can we support each other? And also how can we try to push for some policy changes that make it more possible for tenants to buy their building? Because even though we have this law, it's still really hard. There is a program in DC right now called the Housing Preservation Fund that is for preserving affordable housing, and it's for specifically acquisition loans, so like buying a building. It's a short-term loan. And it has an interest rate that's capped at 5%. So like right now interest rates are going really high and it can't go above 5%. But it's still a loan from a bank where we have to like show all the financial viability. We have to pay up to 5% interest. And we have to get together $2.5 million just to buy the building. That doesn't even include renovations. What we've been learning a bit about is DC has a program called First Right Purchase Program, but they haven't funded it for I don't know how many years now. That was 0% interest loans. So that was specifically for tenants buying their building to have a no interest loan. So it still doesn't deal with the fact that you have to pay market rate for the building, but it does at least give you a no interest loan. And it's specifically, as I understand it, which I'm just learning, but it's specifically for tenants using TOPA. The Housing Preservation Fund is also for just any affordable housing developers. Honestly, it feels in a way like, okay, you have these TOPA rights, but then it's like a little feels like, good luck getting the money.